tuned to the Situation Room with 𝐴꞉ every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial mainland 98.3 FM. The Situation Room. We are always watching.
That's why I can say there. The eyes have it.
Hello everybody, this is Sᴛᴜᴛᴇ and I'm with 𝐴꞉ on the Situation Room, mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
Monday, so I welcome you to the first edition of the show for the week. And today is the 10th in the entire world to celebrate the International Women's Day 2025 with the theme Accelerated Action. And I'm not sure if there could have been a better time to have a build up to the International Women's Day than all of the activities that happened last week with the suspension of the senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, the floor of the House for issues regarding breaking the House rule and House ethics. She was suspended for 6 months, all her privileges withdrawn, her security details also withdrawn, and she's not expected to parade herself anywhere as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, there are some updates in respect to that as the raised the motion on the floor of the House today at the plenary, saying that it will be unfair for the details or the aides of Senator Natasha Akpoti be denied of their allowances for 6 months. Well, the newly decamped senator from PDP to the APC, Senator Ned Nwoko from Delta State, also seconded the motion. We'll play you that sound bite. I would also have update on Rivers State on the show today. A letter was purportedly written to the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, and then inviting the Speaker, that's from the Executive Governor of the State, Governor Siminalayi Fubara, inviting the Speaker to a meeting today. Well, the breakdown of the meeting was also stated in the letter. But early this morning, there were reports that the Rivers State House of Assembly has rejected the letter and invite, saying that it was not channeled through the right way. So agenda for the meeting was supposed to be provision of a befitting space for the assembly sitting. Remember, since the issue of explosion in the Rivers House of Assembly last year, they've had to move into the government house temporarily for sitting while renovation was going on in the Rivers State House of Assembly. So part of the agenda for the meeting was supposed to be provision of a befitting space for the assembly sittings, payment of all outstanding remunerations for and allowances to members, and also presentation of budget and other sundry matters. Remember, the Rivers State House of Assembly under the leadership of Right Honorable Martins Amewele actually gave the governor 48 hours to represent the 2025 proposed bill to the new House of Assembly. Remember, on the 2nd of January, the governor signed the 2025 appropriation bill into law, and then that was presided over by 4 House of Assembly members. And so, based on the 28th of February Supreme Court judgment, it's been expected that the governor would have to represent the budget to the bigger house. Well, The expiration of the 48 hours, a letter was written and signed by the secretary to the state governments, and that's where the debate came from. That the G was not supposed to write a letter to the House of Assembly. That is an aberration on the hallowed chamber. Well, the meeting did hold eventually, but we're hoping that maybe before the end of work today, we'll get more updates in respect to that particular one. So we're still getting update from Rivers State. I will have a conversation around it today. Is there any hope for peace, or is there any possibility of the end to this crisis in sight, especially with the governor acknowledging the leadership of this new speaker and probably ready to just let things go. Last week, Monday, the Commissioner for Information in Rivers State actually joined me on the show talking about Honorable Joe Johnson. And he talked about the fact that, we're still in charge, we're still the commissioners. I remember the House of Assembly, according to that judgment, has sacked the commissioners because the commissioners were screened and cleared by just 4 House of Assembly members, so they would have to be represented to the floor of the House, and that's what a lot of people are asking. That should the commissioners still stay or should they leave? But the commissioner was on the show on Monday and he said, we're not going anywhere, we're still here until anything changes. So we'll get you update on that. We'll also look at pressure groups and the role they play in our democracy. One of the institutions that is expected to deepen the fiber of democracy anywhere in the world are pressure groups. Pressure groups comprise of civil liberty organizations, civil society organizations, NGOs, all around. But the question is this: have they been silenced, and what role are they playing in developing democracy? A lot of people have said, the Nigerian Labour Congress is tired. The Nigerian Labour Congress seems to be like a toothless dog that cannot bark or that cannot bite, that even when they bark, nobody listens to them anymore. But what happens to the pressure group? Apart from SERAP, that constantly, try to bring the government to account by, suing the government, challenging the government to policies, that they don't sense that is pro-people. So we'll talk about how the civil society organizations and the civil liberty organizations, what role have they played in helping to deepen this democracy. We'll talk about that on the show today. We'll also look at the 10th Assembly and the pressure and of a quality legislative delivery. It's been tough, especially since this 10th Assembly. The president of the Nigerian Senate, distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, had been in the news for different reasons, right or wrong, depending on where you stand. The issue of, messages to be sent to the email of the senators at the end of 2023 December, issues that had to do with suspension of a senator, the senator from Bauchi State, on the issue of budget padding, and then conversation around Senator Natasha Akpoti. The first time it happened on the issue of saying that, this is not a nightclub, the senator would have to behave herself. Then 2 weeks ago, everything got to a different dimension, where the altercation on the floor of the House in respect to this is where I should sit, this is where I shouldn't sit. And then the senator went on full blast to accuse the president of the Nigerian Senate of sexual harassment. And that was the entire week, especially in a week that's as significant as the International Women's Day week. But the Senate also organized a program presided over by the president of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, on International Women's Day. There were protests, there were, solidarity walks for the Senate president as well. In fact, an award was presented to the Senate president on Friday by female legislative aides, recognizing him as the most friendly, the most gender-friendly Senate president in the history of Nigeria. Some of these, scripts, there's a way they play out, and then you just have no choice than to ask certain questions. We'll talk about all of that on the show today. The Nigerian Senate and the burden of credibility. We'll talk about all of that on the show today. So it's all encompassing. And what a way to start the Monday, as I have the executive director of the civil liberty organizations in Nigeria joining me on the show, Comrade Steve Aluko. So we're going to focus on how the CSOs and the CLOs, what role have they played? Have they been captured? how come there seems to be very quiet? Nobody's building pressure. And once there's any reason to ask questions from the government, the entire country would face the Nigerian Labour Congress, forgetting the fact that the NLC is only, saddled with the statutory responsibility of protecting the interest and the welfare of the workforce. There are civil interests, there are interest groups that are supposed to challenge the government and hold them account. And we will have the executive director of one of such interest and pressure groups on the show today. So we have it all. Of course, I have two sound bites for you. The drama in Rivers had been interesting. Before I came to the office today, the executive governor of Rivers State, Governor Fᴏʟʟᴏᴡ, was commissioning a palace in one of the local government in Rivers. And one thing you need to give to the people of Rivers State is the ability to compose songs. Every governor in Rivers, they have their own band. So anywhere they go to, they have bands that follow them. Remember, all of the 8 years of our former governor and now the FCT minister, Barrister Sᴛᴜᴛ, he was always moving around with his own band. There are different, interesting songs. But now, the camp of Governor Fᴏʟʟᴏ had also come up with his own. But this one, I'm going to play a sound bite, is, something for you to just relax as we get into the show. And after this one, I would play you the soundbite of Senator Oģiụzọ Kalu and Senator Ned Nwoko moving a motion and seconding the motion that the aides to the suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan should not be deprived of their salaries. Senator Kalu said the aides are not Natasha. So if Natasha committed any offense and she's been suspended, the aides to Natasha have family members to feed. They don't have farms to go to. How would they survive 6 months? If our security details had been withdrawn, all of our aides' salaries would also be stopped. How fair is that conversation? So we'll play you those sound bites. What a session we're having on the show today. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Oᴏ Tဃᴇ, and it's always my pleasure to have you join us on the show from Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. as we take you through conversation around leadership, politics, governance, accountability, and demands for dividends of democracy. Once again, you're welcome. Comrade Steve Aloko is here. Let me introduce him. Then we'll go on to play those sound bites and we'll get straight up into the conversation. Comrade Steve Aloko, it's been a while. You've been on the show, and good to have you back.
Happy new beginning to all of us, and thank God for happy survivor. For me to be alive in Nigeria, it takes God intervention.
Anytime anyone asks me, oh, Oᴏ, how you doing? I'll tell them that I'm basically a reflection of the country. If you think the country is doing well, then I'm doing well. If you think otherwise, I'm also doing otherwise. Comrade Steve Aloko, thank you for joining me on the show today. We're going to ask some questions. We're going to have a fundamental conversation around what the interest group that you represent. You were the representative of the CLOs and the CSOs at the last national conference in Abuja under the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan. We're going to have that conversation with you. Is your interest group now a silenced voice in this democracy? When we come back from this break, we'll play you this sound bite, and then we'll come back and we'll get straight up into it. I would have to keep you on the line so that you listen to the sound bite and get straight up into the conversation. Thank you very much, Comrade Steve Aloko. Just stay on the line with us. Thank you.
Amendment. Her aides have families. Most of them have come from villages, from towns to live in Abuja. It will be wrong to punish aides that have not committed any offense. Their aides will receive their allowances. No, Danduse, you have to agree with this. The age of Natasha is not Natasha. It will be wrong for this Senate to deprive those aides not collecting their allowances. They are workers. They don't have any other farm to go to, Mr. President. Because these aides are workers of Senator Natasha. So I'm moving for amendment of that section that the aides will receive their allowances, Mr. President. I plead with you that these people might be having family in Abuja. They don't go to any farm. They don't have any other way of feeding. And I think that this Senate, my colleagues, you must allow the workers of Natasha to have their allowances. I so move, Mr. President.
My name is Sᴛᴜᴛᴇ OꞰ I represent the good people of Delta North, Delta State. Mr. President, I do stand to second the amendment as proposed by Senator Orji Uzokalo. It's only fair that we allow the workers, even if they don't come to within the premises of the National Assembly, to receive their allowances. I so support. Thank you.
Thank you very much and welcome back. Well, I'm sure you would enjoy that 20-second, sound bite. That was from the supporters of the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Martins Amaewhule, saying that day your day, may nobody trouble Amaewhule. There's a way the people of Rivers use songs to pass messages. I mean, that's interesting. I think another state that has that very interesting attribute also had to be Osun State. The people of Osun State, when they are ready for the campaigns, you get to hear some very interesting songs. And the next you heard was the voice of senators representing Abia North Senatorial District and Delta North Senatorial District. Distinguished Senator Oģiūzor Kalu and Senator Ned Nwoko, both of them are supporting that the allowances and salaries of the aides to the suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan must not be withheld. That it was not this aides that committed any offense, or it is not the aides that was suspended them to survive, except they want the boss to be paying their salaries from their pocket, from her own pocket. But the motion was raised by Senator Oģiūzor Kalu, and it was seconded by Senator Ned Nwoko from Abia North and Delta North, respectively. Both of them are also members of the ruling All Progressive Congress. Remember, Senator Ned Nwoko just decamped, I think about a month ago, from